is possible to become free from debt, financial worry, your boss, and your zip code. You can start living a life you love, but first, you need to find your freedom. Using financial independence and lifestyle design principles, you can create the life of your dreams now. There are many paths to freedom, and that is what this podcast is all about. My name is Becky from 20free.co, and I am the host of the Find Your Freedom podcast. Some common financial advice is that small, everyday expenses add up. By cutting out a $3 latte every day, you could save $1,000 a year. The math checks out. However, I'd argue that you'd be better off focusing your efforts on your biggest 3 expenses, rather than on small, everyday purchases. I'm a big fan of the Pareto Principle, which states that 80% of effects come from 20% of causes. Put another way, 20% of your effort leads to 80% of your outcomes. Instead of focusing on the little stuff like lattes that make up 80% of your financial life but only get you 20% of the results, I suggest you flip it around. Focus on the 20% of things that get you 80% of the results. So, what are the 20% of expenses that make up 80% of your spending? There are 3 categories, which I'll call the big 3, that are the largest expense for most people. The first is housing, the second is transportation, and the third is food. If you focus on decreasing your spending in the big 3 categories, you'll see the biggest results. So let's talk about some ways you can reduce your expenses in each of these categories. 1. Housing. If you stopped spending on a daily $3 coffee, you'd save about $90 a month. And you'd have to exercise willpower and miss out on your coffee every day. However, you'd only have to make 1 or 2 changes to your living situation to lower your rent or mortgage by several $100s a month. Then you'd see these savings each month without having to do anything. Reduce your utility bills. Saving energy is not only good for the environment, it's good for your wallet. As you do home improvements, install energy-efficient appliances, new LED light bulbs, and low-flow plumbing fixtures. By switching to a programmable thermostat, you can keep your home a comfortable temperature when you're there and then save money on your bills while you're away. Make sure to insulate areas of your home like the attic, where you could be losing heat in the winter. And by adding cheap weather stripping to your doors and windows, you can save a lot on your heating and air conditioning usage. Additionally, you could put up thick curtains or even thermo-reflective shades in your windows. You can keep those shades closed during the day in the summer and open during the day in the winter to take advantage of the free heat from the sun. Refinance your mortgage. By keeping your credit score up, you can get better terms on a loan. Additionally, interest rates may be lower right now than they were when you purchased your home. If you plan to stay in your house for a while, you could refinance your mortgage and get a lower interest rate. Be aware that there are upfront costs to refinancing, so while a lower interest rate of 0.5% can translate to hundreds of dollars saved each month, you will only see the overall benefits of the refinancing if you stay in your house for a couple of years. Refinancing your mortgage can lead to savings on your housing payment every month. Rent out a room or get a roommate. Renting a room on Airbnb for several nights a month might actually pay your mortgage or rent for you. If you have an extra room that you don't use or an accessory apartment, which is sometimes called a mother-in-law suite, consider renting it out to offset your housing costs. You could even consider getting a longer-term roommate. Whether that is asking your partner to move in and split the housing costs, moving in with a friend, or finding someone online who needs a place to stay, this can save you money on housing. Negotiate when you re-sign a lease. If you're a renter, it's a good time to negotiate when your lease is up for renewal. Having a good relationship with your landlord will make this easier. Landlords want to keep good tenants, so if you always pay your rent on time and don't cause problems, this gives you some leverage during negotiations. Before you negotiate, research the rent of similar units in your area to see if you're overpaying. Show these other prices to your landlord and ask if he or she is willing to lower your rent. If you're overpaying and your landlord won't reduce your rent, consider moving to a cheaper apartment. Move. Moving to a lower cost of living area is a frequently touted piece of advice to decrease expenses and increase quality of life. This isn't realistic for everyone. Sometimes you need to live in or near a high cost of living area for your job. However, with the world changing to embrace more remote work, moving could be an option for you. You can even move within your local area. Finding an apartment that is cheaper, going one town over where the property taxes are thousands of dollars less per year, or downsizing to a slightly smaller place can save you thousands every year. If you decide to go this route and you're selling a home, selling it yourself instead of through a realtor can also save you tens of thousands of dollars. House hacking. House hacking is when you buy a house with multiple units, live in one, and rent the others out to make an income that will pay your mortgage. This is often done with duplexes, triplexes, or houses with accessory apartments. This is a great way to get your housing for a big discount or maybe even free. This is also a type of real estate investing, and many people choose to keep their multi-unit houses once they move and rent out both units to generate additional income. House sitting. House sitting is where you stay in someone else's home while they're away to care for their pets, their garden, or their house in general. Sometimes you get paid for this work, and in other cases, you house sit for free, but this saves you money on housing. People who travel a lot often house sit to save money on hotels and Airbnbs, but you could do this to save money on your regular housing. I read an article that I'll link in the show notes about a woman who lives in New York City rent-free by dog sitting on the Rover app. Not only does she get paid to care for pets, but she also gets to stay in the owner's home for free. Alternative housing. Finally, consider alternative housing that could cost much less than a traditional house or apartment. People live in all kinds of alternative housing, such as tiny houses, on sailboats, in RVs or camper vans, and more. Oftentimes, people like these types of housing not only for the lower price, but also the freedom, flexibility, and opportunity for travel that they provide. 2. Transportation. Some of the easiest changes you can make will help you save money on your current expenses. If you're already spending money on gas for your commute and travel, save money by getting a gas rewards card to a specific brand of gas station that you frequently go to. You can also get a gas rewards credit card that will give you cash back or points for spending at gas stations. Pick a smarter route that will help you avoid tolls and traffic. This could save you cash every time you travel, and it will save you time as well as gas. If you practice smart driving habits, you can increase your car's gas mileage and stop wasting gas. One of the easiest, most impactful changes you can make is to slow down. Driving at or slightly below the speed limit is often the sweet spot for gas mileage in most cars. When you speed, accelerate quickly, and brake heavily, you're wasting gas and therefore money. Additionally, you can increase gas mileage by minimizing your air conditioning usage, removing extra weight like cargo you haul around everywhere, and taking off roof racks that increase drag. The further you can get on a tank of gas, the less often you have to fill up and the more money you can save. You also don't need to warm up your car before driving it in the winter. This doesn't do anything for the car's engine, it just wastes gas. Yes, you might need to wear your coat and gloves for a few minutes while the heat gets going, but you'll be wearing them anyway for the walk to the car and saving money by keeping them on a little bit longer. Finally, check in with your HR department at work and see if they offer commuter benefits. Some companies offer discounted parking, reimbursements for public transportation, and other benefits specific to the type of commuting that's common in your area. Reduce your overhead. Rent or share a car. Owning and operating a car comes with overhead expenses, such as the cost of buying the car, maintaining insurance, and getting regular maintenance. To save money on your car, you could rent or share a car instead of owning. There are flex car programs like Zipcar, where you only pay for a car when you need to use it instead of all the time, even if it's just sitting in your driveway. If you do want to own a car, make a smart vehicle choice. Electric and hybrid cars are more fuel efficient. Certain brands of cars, like domestic brands, are cheaper to maintain and buy parts for. When you're shopping for a car, you can also save money. Buying a used car could save you thousands in depreciation. Often, buying a car that is 4 years old means that the previous owner has suffered the losses of depreciation instead of you. But even buying a lightly used car that is just a year old means that you don't have to suffer the depreciation that happens immediately after driving a new car off the lot. If you're still set on buying a new car, make sure that you shop around. You can have multiple dealerships bid against each other in order to get you as a customer. Always negotiate. You can negotiate the price, the warranty, and the value of your trade-in to get a better price on your new car. Save on insurance. Insurance is a large overhead cost of owning a car. To save on insurance, be sure to shop around and get several quotes from different insurance companies. You can also call and negotiate with your current insurance company to see if they can reduce your rates. Be sure to ask about discounts, such as a safe driver discount. You can often get discounts for things like having an alarm system, being married, or taking a safe driver course. If you have home and car insurance, consider bundling them all to save even more. Typically, insurance companies will give you a discount if you consolidate all of your insurance policies with one company. Lower maintenance costs. There are a few ways that you can lower your maintenance costs. The first is by learning how to do a few simple maintenance tasks yourself. By keeping your tires inflated, you can save wear and tear that will make them last longer so you don't have to purchase new tires as often. There are free air pumps at most gas stations that you can use. Just check your tires to see how much they should be inflated. Additionally, changing your own oil is an easy task that will save you money. Be sure you're using the right oil by reading your owner's manual. Then learn how to change oil by watching a YouTube video. Once you see how easy it is, you won't need to spend $40 at the auto shop for an oil change anymore. Not everyone is going to be able to do every type of maintenance that their car requires. But as a money-savvy car owner, you're going to need to know what types of maintenance your car needs and when it needs it. This way, you can make sure that you bring your car into the shop to get the maintenance done on time, which will save you money from costly fixes later. Shorten your commute. One way to shorten your commute is to telecommute or work from home. A lot of people are already doing this right now during the pandemic. You can negotiate this full-time work from home or just do it a few days a week. Either way, you'll cut down your commuting costs. Additionally, you can move closer to work. If moving was something you considered to reduce your housing costs, think about moving closer to your office. You'll want to consider whether you could see yourself staying in your job for the long term before you make this kind of move. If you don't see yourself staying at your job, perhaps find a different job. You could find a new job that will allow you to telecommute or one that is located closer to your current residence. Even if you keep your commute exactly the same, consider leaving your house and the office at different times to avoid traffic. If you leave earlier in the morning and then earlier in the afternoon, you can avoid rush hour, and this will save you time, money, and frustration too. My final tip is more about minimizing how much you drive in general. When you're going out for errands, be sure to batch all of your errands together in one day. That means going to the grocery store, dry cleaners, and post office in one trip. This way, you can take the most efficient route and save money on gas. Plus, you'll save time. When you shorten your commute, you can also save money on your insurance because you won't be driving as many miles. Change how you get places. Have you considered getting where you need to go by biking or public transportation? Depending on where you live, walking might even be a good option to get places. Biking and walking are also great exercise. Some cities have robust public transportation, including trains, buses, and ferries. Oftentimes, public transport will have commuter plans, which will save you money if you use it often. You'll also be saving money on fuel, parking, and tolls by taking public transportation instead. Additionally, you could carpool. There are carpool services that you can pay for, or just get a group of friends or coworkers together and drive in the same car. You'll be pitching in for gas and maybe maintenance, but it will save you money because everyone in the group is splitting those costs instead of you paying them yourself. 3. Food. There are several one-time changes you can make that will save you money over and over every time you shop for food. First, shop at a discount grocer. If you're used to shopping at a high-end grocery store, you'll be shocked by how much money you can save by shopping at an Aldi or Walmart instead. You don't have to buy all of your food from the discount grocer, but even just shopping there for staples like bread, rice, pasta, and canned foods will save you money. If you're not ready to give up your regular grocery store, just shop there for produce, meats, and specific items that you can't find at your discount grocer. This is the single biggest change that reduced my grocery budget to just $250 to $300 per month for 2 people. Additionally, get a loyalty card for your grocery store. Some grocery stores' loyalty programs give you access to exclusive sales, coupons, and discounts, and they're free to sign up for. Others provide gas rewards every time you buy your food. You can also get a rewards credit card that pays you cash back or points for grocery purchases. I also recommend watching as your items are being scanned at the checkout counter. Sometimes a sale that you saw on the shelves won't register, and if you're not paying attention, you might end up paying full price. Look through your receipt before you leave to make sure that everything was rung up at the price you saw on the shelves when you were shopping. One time, a jar of spices I bought rung up to $17. I saw it on my receipt, even though I had missed it when it was being scanned, and I was able to go to customer service right away to ask about the price or return it. Plan ahead. Meal planning can save you a lot of money on your groceries. By planning recipes that use the same kinds of ingredients, you can make sure that nothing gets wasted. If a recipe needs an obscure ingredient you're pretty sure that you'll only use once, Google a substitute that is more common. Also, plan to use up leftovers from meals by repurposing them into new meals or eating them for lunch the next day. If you go out to eat, take home any leftovers and eat them later. This will help you cut back on food waste and save money. Inventory your staples, such as pantry items and frozen foods, so you know what you have. This will keep you from overbuying and will prevent food waste. You also don't have to follow expiration dates to the minute. Often, expiration dates are very conservative, and the food is still good for a little while after it expires. Use your judgment before throwing something out like frozen broccoli that's a day past its expiration date. Once you plan your meals and see what you already have on hand, you can come up with a detailed grocery list. Going to the grocery store with a grocery list will help you stop impulse purchases and buy only what you need. By knowing what you have and what you need, you can also go on fewer shopping trips each month. I've found that shopping once a week ends up being much more expensive than shopping once a month. That's because the more you shop, the more opportunities you have to be tempted by the candy in the checkout lane, or junk food you don't need, or an item that you see that you just want to try on a whim. If once a month is too little for you, try going to the grocery store every 2 weeks. Change how you shop. Make sure you're paying attention to prices when you're shopping. This way, you'll know when you're getting a good deal. When you know that, you can stock up on items when they're on sale or at a particularly good price. It can help if you keep a price list, which is a list of what the cheapest prices for common items are and what stores are generally the lowest price. For example, we know that our preferred brand of peanut butter is about $1 cheaper at Walmart than at our local grocery store, so whenever we're in a Walmart, we make sure to grab a jar or two. Another great way to save money while grocery shopping is to go alone. Don't bring the kids or your partner unless they're an accountability partner. My partner is actually a great grocery store companion because he reminds me that we don't want junk food in the house because then we'll have to spend the willpower to not eat it. It's easier to have willpower once a week at the store than every night in your kitchen. So when I pick up a pack of Nutter Butters, he makes me put it back down. When you don't have multiple people adding unnecessary stuff to the cart, it makes it easier to only shop for what you really need. Finally, don't shop when you're hungry. Most of the time when I come home with a bunch of snacks that weren't on my grocery list, it's because I walked into the grocery store hungry. Take a minute to eat a small snack like a granola bar, or try to go shopping right after you eat a meal. Cook easy meals at home. One obvious way to save money on food is to eat at home more. I'm not saying that you need to completely cut out restaurants, but by limiting restaurant meals to special meals that you can't make at home, you'll get much more bang for your buck. Breakfast and brunch are often much more expensive at restaurants than at home. Eggs and toast cost less than $1, and pancakes are cheap and easy to make at home. Instead of spending $10 on a salad for lunch at a restaurant, you could pack a salad for $2. Even for dinner, it's easy to structure meals around cheap basics like pasta, rice, potatoes, or beans. Find a few easy recipes to make at home that your family loves, and then when you go out, you can spend money to get meals that aren't simple to make at home. By cooking easy meals at home, you can cut down your restaurant visits and takeout orders to once or twice a week. Eating at home more instead of eating out can save you a lot of money. Shop in season and for store brands. Have you noticed that it's really expensive to buy strawberries in the winter? They're also not as great quality as they are in the summer. That's because they're out of season in the United States, so they have to be shipped really far from South America for us to have them in the winter. This means more fuel is spent getting them to our grocery stores, and the price is higher. You can save money by buying produce when it's in season and locally abundant, like watermelon in the summer, peaches in the fall, and squash in the winter. By buying store brands of the same items you usually get, you can save money without sacrificing quality. Did you know that the store brand of the name brand items are usually made in the same factory, and therefore they're the exact same thing? At the Domino Sugar Factory, they put the Domino bags on the assembly line and fill them up. And right after that, they put the store brand bags on the line and fill those. There's no difference in quality for many staple store brand foods. You'll also save money by avoiding pre-cut and pre-prepared foods. Chopping peppers and onions can save you 50% on the pre-cut stuff. Additionally, purchasing pre-cooked foods from the hot bar is going to be more expensive because the store has to pay someone to prepare it. Instead, get frozen food that can be easily thrown in the oven or microwave to make a quick meal. Finally, cut down on junk foods. Not only are junk foods unhealthy, they're just not cost-effective. You could buy more quality calories in the form of fruit, vegetables, and grains than you can a $3 bag of chips or bottle of soda. Now, there's one thing that I don't recommend when it comes to saving money on food, and that's spending excessive time looking for coupons. If you think about it, companies offer coupons to incentivize you to buy something that you wouldn't normally buy. Whether they're trying to get you to try a new product or switch to their brand, coupons are marketing products. This means that you're likely to spend more money when you use coupons instead of less, because you'll be buying things that you don't need. Plus, the amount of time that you spend finding several 50-cent coupons compared to the couple of dollars that you save will not be worth it. You'll see the biggest impact on your spending by focusing on the big 3 categories. That means cutting your housing, transportation, and food expenses. To get started, pick just one of the ideas in this podcast to implement. To save money on housing, you could look into refinancing your mortgage. Do something to improve the energy efficiency of your house. Rent a room or research moving somewhere cheaper. To save money on transportation, maybe you'll decide to change your driving habits to increase your gas mileage. Work from home. Bundle your house and car insurance. Learn how to do an oil change. Or batch all your driving errands together. To save money on food, you could find a discount grocery store in your area. Sign up for a loyalty card or grocery cashback credit card. Start meal planning, cook some easy meals at home, or start buying store brands. Whatever you decide to do, just get started. Even implementing 1 or 2 of these money-saving suggestions could save you as much money as cutting out a daily latte for a whole year. To check out the show notes for this episode, go to 20free.co/episode 37. That's the word 20, FREE.co/episode 37. Do you want to finally feel good about your finances and have a stress-free plan to create a life you love? It's time for you to reach your biggest money goals, like paying off debt, building up savings, and using your money to create your ideal life. As a money coach, I will help you gain clarity about what freedom looks like for you, develop a strategy to get there, and overcome your money roadblocks on the path to financial and lifestyle freedom. Let's hop on the phone. During our free 15-minute coaching call, we're going to develop a vision for your ideal life and how your finances fit in. Not only are you going to get massive clarity, you're also going to get a free spending plan spreadsheet just for booking the call. Visit 20free.co/moneycoaching to get your free money coaching call and budget spreadsheet right now. That's the word 20, FREE.co/moneycoaching. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you're subscribed to the Find Your Freedom podcast on whatever app you're using to listen to this episode. Do me a favor and also leave a rating and review on Apple Podcasts. Go to 20free.co/iTunes to be redirected to the page on Apple Podcasts where you can leave your rating and review. I really appreciate it. If you think this episode would help someone you know, please share it with a friend. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the Find Your Freedom podcast. My name is Becky. You can connect with me on Instagram and Twitter at 20freeco and sign up for free resources and email updates at www.20free.co. That's the word 20, FREE.co. I'll talk to you next week on another episode of the Find Your Freedom podcast.